This is Shanta Gabriel. Welcome to our full moon conference call. It is the 14th of August, 2019, and all is well. And I am so grateful that you're here. Kelly Beard is here with us to bring us enlightening opportunities to tune into all the planetary support and the energetics that we have working for us. So let's begin with a prayer. And I think it would be good to put our hands on the dantian, like right below your navel. Let's get grounded. Just breathe into that area. Imagine that at the base of your spine there is this beautiful Muladhara chakra. This is that chakra that holds well-being and that power of love that holds us connected to bringing love to the earth, holds us connected to the roots of the trees and the beauty of nature. And we allow that connection to deepen into the earth star. So we are fully in that power of earth alignment, earth connection, and oneness with well-being and all that is. I also call in the light from the highest source there is, as this light to connect with our higher selves, illuminate our higher selves, and bring forth a depth of connection to wisdom, to clarity, and to illumination. So we allow that illumination to expand our consciousness and bring to us that greater perspective. And then we bring that energy down through our throat chakras, allowing expression of our creativity, new levels of compassion for ourselves and all others. And then coming back into the heart, allowing our hearts to expand behind our hearts and all sides of our hearts, in front of our hearts, bringing a huge, beautiful diamond energy as that octahedron expands and empowers us to hold our light fields and our new light body that we are in process of creating and grounding. Let this light flow through our solar plexus now, bringing courage and strength, and breathing into that place below the navel again, that beautiful dantian, that beautiful Svadhisthana chakra, that connection to Archangel Gabriel. And from this place of pure alignment, I call on the archangels. I ask especially that Archangel Hope might be with us tonight to inspire us and empower our time together. But as the archangels know, as we know, the archangels that are meant to be with us tonight will be here. And I'm so grateful. And I'm grateful for the healing masters and those beings of light and wisdom that work with each of us to be here with us, to guide and direct all that we do tonight. May it be in the highest good of all that are a part of this circle or a part of these combined connections and empower circles of light. We bring this energy into our bodies, into our hearts, and we now open to receive from the highest source. And we give thanks that all that we do tonight is in our soul's highest reality, fulfilling our destiny on this planet. Give thanks for this. We give thanks that we are also connected to the presence of Mount Shasta, her beautiful, huge, mystical, magical mountain in California where I live. May it be blessed. May it also ground us in the crystalline grid of the earth for the highest good of all. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As we breathe together, we come back into this time and space And here we are now, heart-centered, heart-connected, aligned together in this incredible time that we are living in, which is just, I'm so grateful that we can come together, because this is a really supercharged time that we're living in, and this group energy is very important to keep us all grounded and help us to remember that we're not alone in this process, and what we're experiencing may not be just us, and not take things so personally. We know that we're all having this really special challenges, special blessings, special time. It's really super. It's also a very feminine time. We're moving into these new levels of understanding, and we're integrating on a huge new level. It's very different. The energies are really different feeling, and I know that confuses some people, but it sure is a super blessing if we can remember that it's taking us into new frequencies, new territories, and allowing us to really have access to spiritual resources that we've never had before. So when we can connect with our hearts and expand them and allow the divine feminine to work in and through us, it really brings us into an ability to merge our spirit with form. And we're creating this new form with our intentions, with our gathering together, with our prayers. We're really holding a new frequency for the planet. And we're letting ourselves become more lighthearted. I know that in the outer world, it really, truly does need blessings. It needs our blessings. But it doesn't need us to become weighted or burdened by what looks like chaos and possible time. What we have the key by our work together, our prayers, and our focus on bringing higher frequencies into the world through all that we do and all that we are. We're radiant. We are radiating new levels of light into the world through this process. So that is the love that flows within all things, and that's what we are carrying. Even though it may feel like our faith is being tested, this is why we gather, so we can remember that we're here together. And this is a really important time that we volunteered to be in and bring these beautiful energies to the earth. So it's a powerful act of devotion on our part. And I was thinking about devotion. I was thinking, what do we need to do to open our hearts, and what opens our hearts? And for me, it is devotion. It's acts of devotion. Even small things like lighting a candle and dedicating it to lifting the hearts of all beings on the planet, or lighting a candle and remembering that this is a demonstration of the light of God working in and through me. So I encourage you to take some time in this next couple of weeks before the new moon on August 30th to really have concentrated, conscious acts of devotion. Just small little things where you just take your gratitude and you expand it. You take your little candle and you're expanding on that for the good of the planet, for the light within the heart of all people. It's a really powerful process, and we are a part of that. And it's helping us to integrate this level of truth too, because this is a really important integration time. It may not be the time where we were supposed to act, but it's a time where we're really looking back. We went through that whole eclipse process where we released and we looked back at everything that was going, well, we came through and we decided what we're going to keep, and we're just moving through that really empowered time to come to the truth, and then connecting with that truth and holding on to what it is that really truly serves us as truth in our lives. And our focus on truth changes. We have new vision. We have new perspective on life than we used to. So we're really changing and transmuting the old as we come into this transformative, heart-centered process of life that we're in right now. And one of the things that I think we've been talking about is that we're in a time of conditioning our lives for miracles. Conditioning means that we are preparing the field. We're tilling the soil and preparing the field for planting the new seeds and completing and harvesting all that we have prepared up to this time. And there's this scientific process called conditioning, and you can condition rooms and you can condition different aspects. That's why I really encourage people to have altars, because it provides an energetic, it lifts the frequencies, and it conditions the space so that every time you go there, you are at a higher level and you're prepared to go to the next one. So it lifts your spirits, and that's called conditioning. So we're conditioning our minds by holding for the miracles that actually exist already. And we are attuning ourselves so that we receive that and see that as a part of life now. And that is what more, as it's been talked about in the fifth dimension, where everything is such a high frequency that we're creating form with light. We're creating new aspects of our lives through our intentions. We're preparing our reality for new ways of relating to people, to life, to ourselves, to in all our relationships. So it's a very potent time to be alive. And we're in birth, as some have said, that this time that we're in is like we're in the birth canal. We're birthing. We're in the process of that. So a lot of people may even be experiencing the birthing pains, that it's like labor in some way. It's a very intensive process that we're in, and it's like going through a birth. So it's a pretty amazing time as we come into integration and processing all of the eclipse energy and that time of self-discovery and what we completed, and developing this new sense of self and finding love in all things. When I took a Gabriel message for this time tonight, it said, your job is to have no attachment to the appearance of disharmony, but to hold to the love within all things. And that certainly is not easy, but that's our job. It truly is. That's what we came to do. And so through our radiance, through our belief system, through our alignment with that vibration of love, we allow the earth to gain and all people to receive. So it's a process, and it really is a way of making choice, making new choices that stimulate that process of loving. So when we are in this time of creation and connection, bringing spirit into matter, bringing our divinity into human form, this is a really good time to do physical activities, to swim and walk, to play, to have more fun, to bring that childlike essence into your lives now. And so it's a really time to engage with life in a whole new way. I read this thing that I thought was interesting, and I'm not a Bible person, as you know, but they were saying that the 2012 to 2019 were what they considered could be what's in the Bible called the Great Tribulation. And what follows after the Great Tribulation would be then the rapture. And so I was thinking about rapture beam me up, Scotty. There's a whole lot of different ways of looking at that. But what we know is our ascension process is in the body this time. It's not leaving the body to go anywhere. We're taking our bodies and we're using these higher frequencies to purify, to transmute, to clear, and to open and connect our bodies to something greater than ourselves. And 2020 has all of these amazing possibilities. So if it's felt like tribulation in these last number of years, that's what it could truly have been. So I think with that, it might be a really good time for Kelly to come in and tell us what really is happening and let us know what kind of support we have for this new time that we're in.
Hello there.
Hello.
Yes.
I'm going to mute myself.
Well, you're going to love this, and I might call you back, so stay handy. I love this. Hello, everybody. Let's start there. I wanted to bring in a little extra piece, but before I do that, I just want to validate everything Shanta just said. I love this. She hasn't been on any of my calls, and she's still channeling exactly what we need at this time. I am so excited about the lunation that we're sharing today, because there is a special alignment actually happening today with Sun and Venus are in council. So we cannot see them because the sun is too bright and she's too close. They're occupying basically the same space. And this is an initiation for all of us into a new level of self-love and understanding of our individuality and that unique piece that we want to contribute to the world. So we're right in alignment, baby girl, as usual. I love it. And all of what I want to talk about today really supports everything that we need to do. But I do want to start with two of the things that Shanta brought up. One, about the ascension in the body being what time it is now. There is absolutely planetary support for that as well. The language that has come to me lately is how the consciousness movement, or whatever awakening of consciousness that we've had as humanity over the last 100 to 500 years, is now hitting the body. It's like now we have to learn how to be lighter, literally, so that we can operate at these higher frequencies and so that we can channel more light through our systems. And what they're learning, getting deeper and deeper into physics and the real makeup of our systems, it's known that all of our pathways, everything is a pathway within our systems. It's a little system, an individual system within this collective bigger one. And we are that for the rest of the world. So we are wired to understand this. We are totally wired to understand being an individual that is part of a greater thing. At this time, I just want us to be gentle with our bodies because we have these expectations of timing and speed that I think is a little skewed. You know, we can change our consciousness in an instant, but the body and physical matter and 3D is a little slower on the uptake, and it takes a little bit more time for those molecules to come together and come into a form. So that is a huge theme of now, and it's basically the next 8 to 10 years. So pace yourself. Give yourself some latitude and recognizing that your body has to find a new way to operate here on the planet. And then that also reminded me, and Shanta, you'll remember this, there's a book that I love called Unplugging the Patriarchy. And it's a novel, theoretically, but it's a mystic who wrote it, Lucia Renee, and she, to me, sounds like she's documenting what she actually did, running around the world trying to unplug the energetic cords that the patriarchy has plugged into Mother Earth to drain her of her resources. So that's one concept. But what I want to share here is how all of her mystic training, she said that all of them were trained to be seers, soldiers, and sovereigns. And each person would probably gravitate to one or the other as a specialty, and then they would go into a deeper training as a mystic as one of those. And it's my belief that Shanta and I qualify as the sovereigns. But the seers were able to go into other dimensions and see what was going on. The soldiers were capable of going into the other dimensions to address it. And the sovereigns just held the light. We are the space for the light so that they can go and come back. so that we are examples for those in the dark trying to figure it out so they can come back. Somebody has to hold the light. Somebody has to hold the heart space. And this month, Leo Aquarius is part of that. We are so supported. But I just want to give you permission. And there's a funny little section in there where the three women, one is a seer, one's a soldier, and then she's the sovereign. And the sovereign's just chilling. And the seer's freaking out over what she's seen, and the soldier's freaking out about what she has to go do, and the sovereign's just chilling. And they both gang up on her, and they get mad at her, and they start fussing, and they're like, you aren't doing anything, and we really need you. And she said, I'm holding the light. I'm doing my part. This is my part. So I want you to remember your own part, whichever that may be, and give yourself permission to be in this space of holding the heart, holding the light. Because I would venture to guess that we are all, especially in this circle and our expanded circle, we're pretty privileged to gather like this, expand the light and hold the light for others to find us. And I know that they are being magnetized right in. So in terms of timing, I want to say also, this is kind of a year after the Leo Aquarius eclipses, which went on for almost 2 years recently, and rearranged these areas of our lives and really rebooted some change there. Now, for Shanta and I, we did a lot of live circles on the West Coast in 2008 and 2009, and it was really magical, and we were doing more things in person. And now this is coming back up, where we'd like to do more retreats and more things in person. It's part of the Leo Aquarius dynamic. It's giving our individual piece to the collective, but it's also creating space for the collective to come in and learn about their individual piece. So that's the sacred space that Shanta and I do it differently, but we both hold that space for our circles to come in and do their individual work. We want you all to always feel individually supported, and then that expanded support from the circle and the group that is of like-heartedness and like-mindedness and holding the vision for the planet to rise into this next level of existence, because that's essentially what this shift is about. Earth is going through a natural cycle. We just happen to have chosen to be here at one of the bigger pivotal times. And so choosing what works for your system, what your body can handle, what your mind can handle, what your soul can handle, that's part of your responsibility of managing your light body and managing your system. And I love everything that Shanta's taught us about our Merkaba or our light body, or that container that we can create and control and enliven and wake up and pull back in and do some resting. And that's part of my gift. Okay, most of you know me for the Shamanic Astrology, but part of my earth medicine practice is getting you in touch with your own personal cycles and then syncing up with nature's cycles so you can be more effective. And part of that is giving yourself permission to be down when the energy is ebbing and low, and give yourself permission to go, go, go when the energy and the fire and the inspiration is there. It's okay. That's your system. Learn how it works. Learn the rhythm. You have a rhythm. You have a natural rhythm. Now, it may have been hijacked by the world, whether it's our families or our communities or our jobs or what have you. But this is, again, why we get together monthly, why we take a time out once or twice a month to really check in with ourselves. How you doing? Look in the mirror. Check it out. That's all supported by this lunation. So even though we're getting to the full moon, which is tomorrow, this last segment of time, like I said, throughout the time of the Leo Aquarius eclipses, we had the full moon preceding the new moon. So it felt like a lot of endings and wrapping up and conclusions that are opening the space now. And what I tell everyone is when the eclipses are happening, it's really hard to tell what's what because everything is sort of in upheaval. It's okay. It's a natural part of creative chaos. But a year later, the dust is starting to settle. So I'm curious how everyone's feeling about some of the things that might have been activated in those departments and understanding the elements that are involved, air and fire. And at this moment, this month, we have a lot of access to fire that is going to shift into many planets moving into Virgo and balancing out in Earth. So we're going to talk a little bit about that too. Think of the break to realign that you went through around your own authenticity, your ability to express your true self and feel comfortable in your own skin and have that sense of individuality, but also that sense of belonging in whatever communities you do belong to. That's all what got recalibrated. And so I loved when Shanta was saying how devotion, as soon as she started working on the word devotion, all I could think of was heart. You know, it's one thing to do a dedication, okay, that's one thing, but devotion implies heart. And this is what we have to add to absolutely everything we're doing, being, you know, expressing on any level. We're adding heart and soul to everything. And the sacred feminine is tremendously supported. We have basically 2-to-1 ratio going on. So you want to think about that. How do you express your masculine and feminine, and how does that exactly work for you? And do you favor one or the other? And which one is kind of malnourished at this time and needs some balancing out and maybe some concentrated attention? So at this full moon, now we have flipped the script. And now we have the new moon preceding. So we already had the Leo super new moon 2 weeks ago. And that initiated a whole new part of you, let's say, an emergent self. And the new you, and we can keep it in just 1 year, 6 months to a year, but there's a part of you that has shed a skin over the last year, 1 to 3 years, and you're choosing what you want to express next. So this time we are planting seeds. Now the new moon precedes the full moon, and we have to kind of walk by faith. We have to trust that we planted our seeds and the right ones are going to pop in the right divine timing. We get to the full moon, and usually we can see things we couldn't see at the beginning, and that allows us to make some new choices as well. So the full moon is a great time to connect, and for us tonight, it's just a good point to make some time for yourself to time out, go into deep reverie and communication with your higher self and spirit. That's what this full moon is really good for. Uranus is ruling it, so that's part of the awakening that's happening and part of the support for the awakening that's happening in the body. We are learning to make the body our temple again and to make that sacred. And I would like to remind folks, in the same alignment with what Shanta said earlier, is how we are all capable of doing this ascension and staying in the body. We no longer have to leave the body to connect with God. God is within us. God permeates everything that we are and do. We are the expression of the Creator. So we've never been disconnected from it, and maybe we became conscious of it, but now it's in the body. It's real. So every day we need to be communing with the soul or with spirit as we understand it. And not on special occasions, not once a year, not when we get to the mountain. Can't wait for all the ducks to line up and be perfect for that. No, we talk to spirit every day, all day, if you can. But definitely making time for that, and you're supported, because as you're able to do that and take this little necessary time out, as it were, hopefully Spirit's going to give you some new, progressive, alternative, and radically different ideas to work with. We're thinking outside the box now because we're visualizing the new world. We know what's done and over and crumbling. What are we visualizing rising up in its place? And how can you, I love this is a Kelly note, rebel within but commit without. So internally, it's a shake-up time, and we're really rearranging our internal systems consciously, hopefully, and by choice. But that is so that the outer manifestation is different, and that's what we're going for. And especially with this lunation, you know, to be free individuals, we need to be responsible and collaborative, working together. Start with your personal definition of freedom and then expand from there. And friendships are definitely shifting, social activities, how we socialize, like she said, becoming lighthearted, lightening up to play, how we learn as human beings in general. We learn through play and storytelling and theater and games, and that's how we figure stuff out. We practice. We play with it. We let the imagination get a vote. We allow our heart to get a vote. We're not linear. We're not the patriarchal madness that is done and over. You know, I'm not even worried about it. But it is some conditioning for generations that we're unwinding and unraveling and leading by example, doing another way so that folks can see the example of being responsible for your own mind, body, and spirit connection and cultivating it and strengthening it so that it works for you is all part of it. So, you know, Aquarius is an air sign. A lot of people confuse it because it's called the water bearer. But one of the things about Aquarius that I love being the water bearer is it is the only human symbol with the zodiac. So that's kind of one of the indications that we are devoting our commitment to ourselves being whole and integrated serves our world vision in a greater way. And so any old ways, whether it's individual or collective, are definitely breaking down. and breakdown precedes the breakthrough. So once we get through that, we are committing to new and different. We are not settling for status quo. We're not doing the same old, continuing forward. It is a break to realign, and it is time for awakenings and sudden awarenesses, but we don't want to fall back asleep. So if you have been jolted by the universe one way or another and awakened on some level, be vigilant. Don't fall back asleep. Don't fall back into the old patterns, and that's part of it. That's part of what's rebirthing in Western culture is, again, we know what's done, but what are we going to replace it with? So the day today that we're meeting, I might have to throw in this shameless plug for my Venus Circle, because today is the meeting of Sun and Venus. And we are rededicating what we want to express in the world today. What light we want to shine, what piece of the light do we want to be contributing. And we're so supported for resetting those intentions as we speak and detaching from the past, getting super objective about the present, and innovative about the future. That will help us this full moon. Any burning bowl would be a really simple, easy ritual for you to do. Anything that you're ready to release, you write it all down. It doesn't have to be neat and pretty because you're going to rip it up and burn it. And you're going to hopefully be able to take the ashes to living water and give it to God and let it be transformed. This is the season that we rise, like the phoenix from the ashes, of our old self, of that old persona, of that old presentation. We're upgrading the presentation in many, many ways and becoming more self-sufficient, and we're working on the balance. This is the Leo-Aquarius balance, heart and mind, your self-involvement versus detachment, being individually self-aware versus global consciousness, subjective versus objective, and settling versus rebelling. When do we settle and when do we rebel? What activates that for you? But in this release process of the full moon where we are now, that's what I wanted to say. It is, let's say, in service to our Leo intentions, the new moon intentions we put in place 2 weeks ago, theoretically. But it's not too late. You can set your intentions now for the next 6 months to a year, because that's when we'll have another Leo-Aquarius lunation to work with. But it is all about getting back to that heart-centered living and what that means to you, and tapping into simple pleasures and bringing joy and vitality back into certain things. So we are deeply supported by the sky pattern for sure. And like I said, I love that Shanta teaches us how to be that bridge between heaven and earth, because that is my primary focus with the shamanic astrology and the earth medicine, is making that connection within the individual. So I hope that you all will think of joining us as we continue this journey. Shanta, you want to come back in and play a little together? Because we're connecting to everything that gets us fired up and excited.
Yeah. I'm here.
Yay.
I'm connected. Yahoo. So you said something that reminded me, I forgot to say before we started. And so I'm at somebody else's, a friend of 40 years, on Martha's Vineyard, the island in Massachusetts. And my friend had things to do tonight, and another friend came over, and that person said, tonight is illumination night. And I was just going, whoa, but what she meant is that for many, many, many years on the island, they've lit candles and put them in little boats and set them out to take dreams, it's illuminate the world.
Amazing.
And yes. And that's tonight. And in Hawaii, they also have that, is I can't remember if it's Japanese or Chinese, I think it's Japanese, that they send that out into the world. They send the
fire and the light.
And yes, and it's for the ancestors that they do that in Hawaii. Yeah. So we're on a very auspicious evening on a lot of levels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Activating the inner artist, and our creativity, all of this is awakening. This is part of the source energy within us and our courage to live our truth in that way, to access the creativity that is ours by divine right. Everybody's got a piece of it. And so how we see ourselves is a big piece of this. What we choose to express, how we choose to express, all up for renewal and to express more light, essentially. And that's it. We are very supported going forward. And yes, you said something else about us taking August, September. I just want to reiterate here with the fire and the earth. I don't think I touched on that. was we are very creative right now, and things are sparking, and stuff is happening, and there's lots of activity and things to process. But it is going to segue where we're going to get a lot of the personal planets into Virgo. That's going to, again, help us assimilate in our bodies, assimilate in our everyday, day-to-day stuff. So right now I want to give you permission to sort of dream big and expand that. But remember, in a month, next month, we're going to have to bring it into real time. And as you're able to do that, we move into the harvest season and toward the last quarter of the year, and it is whatever you've developed for the year of 2019, and using that to set up your 2020, because 2020 is a very active, transformative year as well. And we're kind of gearing up and building our strength ahead of time now for that.
Great. I love that. It's so nice, even though it has not been a very active time for me recently because I've been sick, but it's that I'm still tuning into all the great work that you're doing.
Yes,
all the
you
great
did. I love when she does that.
So to me, it's like a demonstration that we support each other and we work with each other, even though we're not aware that we're doing it. And isn't that a cool thing? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the 5D. We're operating on these other dimensions, and even telepathing works when you practice. We are capable of bouncing back and forth now in a way that didn't used to be possible. You just have to go be in the ashram or, let go of all other life to raise your vibration. Now we have to do that on a daily basis just to survive. And we can. It's kind of our superpowers. We're wired for this.
Superpower.
Our bodies, yes, our bodies let us do this. They know how to do it. We just have to allow and listen because they are a communicator. And, again, no middleman. That's your connection to source. So that's what we're cultivating anew now that we've cleared a lot of junk out, The last couple of years and last couple of eclipses have really stripped us bare. So we're coming back into our own, but this time we get to choose. That sovereignty is huge, and being able to express our authentic selves and still be safe, still having good boundaries, and still making good choices about who we play and work with. But it's important that we are still authentic beings. And if something isn't for you or that vibration doesn't match your vibration, it's okay to say no and let it go. It's no big deal. And that's what we're doing. We got to keep our vibrations right. And that's why we have Shanta. So take us away, darling. Let's wire it in.
Yeah. Wire it in, yes. Yeah, thank you, Kelly. Thank you so much. So we have an opportunity right now to pray together. Because we've talked about how this is the night of illumination. We're setting our dreams afloat. And so, this is a great time to dream for the world as well as ourselves. And so if you'd like to go ahead and put a prayer into this circle, this compassionate wisdom circle, our intention is to bring compassionate wisdom to the earth and to use our time together to be lights to the world and to be that lighthouse that beams out into the waters of the world. So if you'd like to say a prayer, go ahead and hit *6, and we'll find out if it's going to work this time. We never know for sure. Try that, and hopefully you'll be able to make your prayer known. So I'm going to start with imagining that I have a little floating candle, and into this candle, my intentions are for the illumination of the hearts and minds of all people. May all be blessed with this light that is available so gracefully and easily. May they discover that expanded way of perceiving the world that allows them to bring more light into their daily lives. May all beings be blessed with light. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Anybody else?
And in connection with that is to illuminate the hearts and minds of all of the people who have been involved in the mass shootings, and that we create a world in which that is just impossible to comprehend, and that we cherish the children, and that we cherish each individual person to be the light that they are. So be it.
Yes. So be it. Thank you. Anybody else?
I would like to light a candle to inspire love in every single heart, to awaken to love. because that will assist in where to go next.
Yes.
Deep breath.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And so it is. I would like to pray for all the waters of the world as we light candles to float on the waters. May all the waters be blessed. May the waters be purified, the waters within us as well as the waters outside us. May the water be blessed with so much light and so much love and so much peace that harmony prevails in each person and in each place that the water touches. God bless the waters of the world. And so it is. Anybody else?
Yes, I would like to say a prayer of blessing for all the children of the world. May they retain their innate love and compassion and beauty. May they know themselves so that as they grow, they bring this love and compassion forward into their lives and be part of a beautiful wave of humanity's evolution into love.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And so it is. I need to say a blessing for the trees. As I usually do, I really thank the trees, and I bless all the trees of the world that they may thrive, that they may continue to bless us and fill the air with oxygen and pull all that is not conducive to life out of the earth and in the air. And may they be respected. May they be cared for, and may they thrive in their perfect place. And we give thanks that this is so, and so it is. Oh, deep breath. And we'll pray for all the creatures on the world, all that slither and fly and slide and walk on 4 legs and walk on 2 legs and swim in the waters of the world. May all beings be blessed. And may we receive their special gifts and blessings in our lives too. And so it is. Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for your beautiful, beautiful prayers. I am so grateful. I'm going to just mute us so that we can have just this pure time of alignment and reverence and activate our soul to live in these higher frequencies and these higher dimensions and this greater perspective that is becoming available to us more and more every day. So we take a deep breath now and we let ourselves relax into a grace-filled meditation. And in this time together, we integrate all of the blessings, the information, we integrate the teachings, we integrate the prayers and blessings, we integrate all that we have learned in this special summer, this summer of 2019 that holds so much promise and creates so much confusion and chaos, and only to settle into the pure beauty and harmony that truly exists within all things. And we breathe in the light. We allow this light to sink right into our bodies, into our minds, into every cell of our bodies, to illuminate our energy system and bring peace into those aspects of our nervous system that has been overstimulated by all that's been going on. We bring peace into our hearts. And we shine peace from our hearts out into the world. And in this peaceful place, in this sanctuary of our hearts, in this temple space, we know that we are a part of the greater whole. We are a cell in the mind of God. We're an individual demonstration of God's grace, the creativity, and the beauty of all that is. We let our breaths be full and receive this beautiful alignment with the light. And we know that we are the beacons. We allow ourselves to be that true gift that we came here to be. And we take care of ourselves. We let ourselves remember that we need to pace ourselves, to rely on divine timing, not to push things that we think should be here already, but to recognize that there is a divine timing and allow that to happen. And that's the more divine feminine force working through us to create in the world the new form, the new foundation for life. And it's a beautiful aspect of life. And from this sacred space, we connect with this greater vision for the planet, the harmony, the peace, the beauty that is truly this amazing earth that we have chosen to live on in this lifetime. We let ourselves experience the wonder of this place where we live and take that wonder into all aspects of our existence so we can remember how special it is and how special life is and what a gift it is to have this body. And we're opening to this new creative surge that's flowing through us. We stand in the river of all creation, opening to a powerful flow within the light. And we're bringing our soul to every aspect of our life. We're asking our soul to reveal to us what our destiny is, what we came for, what our gifts are specifically, so that in this next more active time as we complete this year, we can bring them into the flow so they can come into pure fruition in the harvest that we're walking into. And we're communing in this sacred space every single day. We can have conversations with God all day. We don't have to wait for special prayer time, but when every aspect of life, when we're at work, when we're walking downtown, when we're in the woods, when we're at the post office, when we're at the grocery store, we're part of that blessing of all life. And we're bringing the sacred space into the world. Leading by example, being who we truly are and letting that reveal this beautiful aspect of life. And people will know. People will know you by your light. And they may not know what it is, but they know that whatever you're experiencing, whatever you're demonstrating, they want that. And people will relate to you in a very different way than they used to. And we're committing to our lives, we're committing to more joy, more dedication to bringing this truth forward of who we really are, of letting all the old aspects of life just disintegrate to become the compost for new life. And we're honoring the simplicity that is the truth in life. That it does not have to be hard or complex or struggle to be who we're here to be. It's all a part of this new life that we are revealing. We're just taking off all the extraneous parts that aren't the true us and letting our soul step forward as a true human with this inner divinity, this new level of creativity, this empowered new light, this sense of curiosity and discovery and playfulness and joy. That expansiveness, that's who we are, and that's what we're here to demonstrate. So let yourself just receive in greater ways, and let the grace that is God working in and through us be with you and prepare the way so life can really come into the fruition that your soul planned for you in this life, in this fulfillment of who you truly are. And know that you are blessed, that you are not alone, and that it's all here for you right now when you're in alignment with your most divine, true self. God bless you all. May you receive deeply from the well of compassion and wisdom and love. Thank you so much for being a part of this circle. Namaste.